We meet her right here in her element, finishing the last twists of her client's butterfly locks. This is Celine Daisy, known as Dion the brand. A talented hairdresser, nail technician, and crochet artist, she turns every touch into craft and every design into expression. Her journey is one of passion, resilience, and creativity, shaping a brand that speaks for itself. This is Millennial on the Move. Welcome to the world of Dion the brand.
Hello guys, welcome to Millennial on the Move. Today I'm here with you, Crochet by Dion, or as many know me, Dion the brand. And as you can see, I have my client here with me. I'm a stylist, a hair stylist, and I'm sorry you found we've already done the most of the part, but right here I'm just doing the final touches. I'm adding my Spanish here, and we're almost done. I'll just add this last strand here and just style it. Okay, so guys, besides me being a hairstylist, it is not the main thing I do. As my name states, Crochet by Dion, I major in crocheting as an artist. So I do crochet as a business. It's what gives me the money. I major both in outfits and designing for runways and models.
She loves what she does because creation is her language. Because every twist, every stitch, every design is a piece of her story.
Besides being a crochet artist, a hairstylist and all, I do so many things which we might not see today, but I'm also an artist. I draw, but for that I used to do it maybe when I was young and while I was in high school. I also used to sing and act when I was in primary school. So with that, art is something that I really treasure so much, and it's one thing that I can learn. So long as it's art related, count me in. So basically that is what I do for now, but I've found something that I can major on. I cannot do everything at the same time because of time, of my studies. So I chose the major thing that maybe makes me happy, if I can say so, and yeah, that is what makes me happy, and that is what I chose.
Dion also shares how her educational life was like.
I study education arts in French and history. Yes, I'm a teacher by profession. I study at Kenyatta University, and from there, I came from a very good high school, if I must say. That is Kaimosi Girls in Vihiga County. Yes, and to the glory of God, I kind of was the best student in my stream of my time. And it makes me so happy considering the French I'm doing in the university. I really did well in my high school, and that inspired me so much to pursue it further in campus. We are now adding, let me call it's a mousse. It helps to remove the strands of hair that always pops up. After doing that, it also makes the hair so sleek and avoids it being so pokey so much, and it also gives it the cleaning and the clear edges. So after you are done with making the mousse, the next thing you can do is style the edges, which we might not do on air because my client, she doesn't need that right now, but we'll do it later. But this also helps to giving a clear finishing for your hairstyles.
In an age where image speaks loudly, healthy hair becomes part of self-expression, a statement of pride and self-worth.
It is really important for you to have good hair, and for hair, maybe we can measure on to talking about ladies because girls make their hair on a frequent day, and having a neat hair also give you that look. You might not be having good outfit on you, but when your hair is also sleek and okay, you'll definitely look elegant.
Each stitch becomes a memory, each loop a reminder of where it all began.
As you can see, I have my yarn here with me and my hook. For those who know crochet, we understand that we have different types of hook and different types of yarn. With me is a chunky yarn, and I have a 5mm hook. And these together really make a good outcome. I'm going to be making a granny square which will be made into patchwork for my model for a runway.
Just like she styles hair, she now weaves her story with every stitch, turning simple yarn into designs that carry her signature touch.
First of all, my full names are Celine Daisy Awor. I am a daughter to Mr. Charles and Madam Pamela. I have 3 siblings, 2 sisters and 1 brother, and they are the pillars of who I am today, if I must say, especially my dad and mom. They really support the thing I do today. Besides me being a teacher by profession and I'm into arts, they really understand the type of thing I do as an artist. It is one thing that gives me the money and keeps me living since I'm in town and they're at home. And with that, I've got to learn much more about family supporting their loved ones. And every time I have an event or a show, my dad and my mom will be the first people to actually call me and really appreciate me and look forward to having to see me on TV and on the runways. And for my granny square, for those who really understand crochet, we do 4 clusters for your first row, and I'm using a stitch called double crochet for most of the granny squares that we make. And right now I've done my first cluster that contains 3 double crochet, and what I'll just do is just join it to the 3 chains I made as I began my square.
For parents, it can be challenging to see your child choosing a path outside the traditional office, but creativity and entrepreneurship are just as valuable as any desk job.
As I work, I tend to help my siblings and my parents back at home, and even communicate with other of my relatives, because the moment they see the hard work I put into it, they get this happy and so eager to help me and see where and the progress I'll make in life. We are done with the first row, and for the second row, we'll be adding an orange color to it because we want to make a swatch of 2 colors for our granny. So we'll just be adding this orange color for our second row.
As she mastered the art of crochet, Celine didn't stop at following patterns. She began to imagine her own.
As a crochet artist, I didn't just wake up and become a crochet artist in a day, but considering the fact that I've always loved art, before I joined campus, I tried to figure out something that I could do as a young girl who is just joining campus. And I decided to go through YouTube and see something that I can really do. And considering the fact that when we were in primary, we used to like crochet, maybe using thorns or these small hooks or even pencil. Yeah, you just take your thread of strand or use it to make this bagya set. Yeah, if you understand that. Yeah, most of us in primary used to do that. So yeah, that is where I started knowing crochet, and I decided to go through YouTube and see, is it something that can really make someone earn money, or is it something that someone can use to earn money? So as I went through the internet, I got to meet this amazing girl named Ndinda, and she's one of the people I like to give a shout out to. She's my mentor and she's my teacher all the way since I started crochet. She introduced me to this beautiful craft, and I've been working with her ever since. And she's been teaching me how to go about this business industry as a crochet artist now, not just as a talent or as a passion. So besides that, I didn't start crocheting as the first business, but I started off as a hair stylist, as you had seen before. That is what I used to do when I joined campus first. And I realized that doing hair every day kind of made me weary. I remember at one time I had so many clients, and at the end of the day, I got sick and I was admitted to the hospital. So when you are done with the orange color, we'll just cut it like the previous one and pick our black yarn again and use it to make our third row. The same way we joined the orange one, you'll start by making 3 chains and just doing 2 more double crochet into it, and continue making your granny stitches as you make your square. As you can see, it has become a square already. So we'll continue making it and make it bigger to what we want to do with it. I see most people see crochet as something for the old grannies or for older people. But as you can see, I'm not old. I'm just a 24-year-old girl, and I'm doing crochet on its own. So I believe there are many children out there, considering the type of education system we have right now, the CBC, it is based on the talents and what the children can do, but not on the books itself and the content. So you realize that maybe your child out there has a talent. It might not be crochet, but maybe your child has a talent somewhere. The best thing you can do is to just help them out to realize the talent they have and support their vision and what they want to become. Not everyone has the ability to become doctors, nurses, and lawyers, but maybe that hidden talent they have is what can make them great people and become billionaires in future. So as I finish up in making our granny square, let us take a commercial break, and we'll be back for you to see more and see the results of what I'm making. So. Welcome back again, and as we've previously talked about my hairdressing journey, my personal journey, and how I started crochet on its own, actually completing my project right now, and we are going to see how it's going to look on our model just in a few minutes to come. There are so many outfits that you're going to see on our model, and you're really going to love it.
The creative designer now takes us through some tips and tricks in crochet.
So first of all, we have 2 different sets for crochet. We have this basic set, and most of the time this basic set is used by beginners, intermediate, or even professionals. And this hook, it comes with this type of hooks, and these ones are always the silicone ones. They have this plastic thing that helps us to hold the hook, and I always prefer them because they don't bring that friction when you're crocheting your projects. So they also come with this, and there are different sizes of the hooks, from hook number 0.6, 0.5, 1.7, the smallest tiny hooks, and to the biggest hooks. For example, we have this, and this type of hook, they come with this different set, and this set has many number of hooks. We have also the stitch markers, we have the darning needles, we have the tape measuring that you can use to measure your projects. Then we also have this normal tape measure that tailors also use. It's very good when measuring your projects. And when we talk about measuring your projects, measurements is one of the key things that you need to have as a crochet artist or as any designer. And the moment you have your measurements, they're the ones that help you to bring out the perfect shape and the perfect length for the type of project that you're making. So these are the basic things that help us to work on our crochet projects. We also have the yarn that we use for our work. The yarn I was using here, this is a chunky yarn. Besides the chunky yarn, we also have other different types of yarn. There are so many, I cannot mention them right now. There are over 20 types of yarn in crochet. We have fuzzy yarn, we have fleece yarn, we have milk cotton, we have the baby cotton yarns used for making baby clothes. Then we also have the thin yarn that is also used, and most of the time you find artists double strand the yarn, but for lighter projects you can use it as a single strand. Then we also have the medium weight yarn, we also call it the DK weight. There is also different types of yarn like moonlight that have different colors. So the yarn are so many, I cannot mention all of them, but those are some of the types of yarn that we use. And The type of yarn you use also depends on the type of project you use. You cannot pick any yarn for your project, but you can pick the type of yarn, and the type of yarn you use also depends on the type of hook you are going to pick. I cannot use a bigger hook for a smaller yarn. My project will not look nice. It will not come out so pretty, but when I use a smaller hook for a smaller yarn, then the project will really be nice.
From transforming hair into art to designing crochet pieces that turn heads, Dion has built a brand that speaks for itself.
I have come way too far, and there are so many things I have achieved as a crochet artist. First is the runways I've been talking about over and over again. It is one of the biggest things I've always dreamt of, to have my collection, that is Dion's collection, on the runway and having models of my own, which I do have right now. And the other thing that makes me really happy is having to associate and network with other people. And I've realized that many crochet artists reach out to me, not that I am perfect or anything, but it's because of the type of interaction I do have with them. They also tend to give me work and trust the type of work that I give. They see the results of what I make and they give me referrals and work. And also one of the most achievements I've made this year is owning a central machine. As some of you have encountered me, I've always wanted to own a central knitting machine for the longest time. And I can say that I have had the best experience with that machine. Most people have seen complaining about it, but one thing I realized is just being gentle with your machine and being patient with it. Besides that, it's a very perfect machine for making your beanies, your scarves, your dresses. You can literally make anything with it.
Crochet may look simple, but behind every flawless design are hours of patience, trial, and error.
Now, one of the biggest problems we have as crochet artists, if I must say, is pricing of your products. Yes, it's one of the biggest challenges we do have. And at this moment, it is something that has become a pandemic. It's not just a problem, it's a pandemic for all of the artists. You realize that you find it really difficult to price your projects because you don't know the kind of criteria to use when pricing your work. For example, when you're pricing, you have to consider the materials, the labor, the time you take, the size of the project, the length of the project, the design of the project you're using. So with that, you find that it's really hard for you to get to price your work. Then we also have clientele. You realize that there are some people who really have clients and there are some people who find it difficult to get clients. So with that, it also becomes a problem to run a crochet business. But when you have a constant and steady clientele, you get clients and do a very good work. Then one of the challenges that is also there is poor work quality. And this poor work quality comes in and it's kind of related to pricing. You realize that someone prices their projects really low but ends up making something that is not really of a good quality. And this also brings a problem within the crochet industry because you find the clients will no longer be trusting us as crochet artists, realizing the difference in price ranges, but that is something that can be worked as a community. And another problem also comes into choosing the right materials for your project. For example, as I said earlier, that the right hook and the right yarn are the perfect for a perfect product. But when you take the right hook and the wrong yarn, you not come out with a good project. But when you take also a big hook and a small yarn, your work will not really be nice. So that is also a problem for crochet artists. Then also designing and being creative, it's not really a problem, but it's something that I feel like many crochet artists should work on. I know there are YouTube channels out there, there are lessons to be taken out there, there are inspos, but also being an artist on its own, it means you should be creative, innovative, and be able to come up with something new. And this is one of the things that has brought me to the limelight, considering that I like making things out of my own creativity. And that is also something that can make you be unique and be known.
Dion, so what's your mantra?
First, I'll love to give it all to the crochet artists in our community. We have the Crochet Gang community that also has kept us moving together as crochet artists, and with that they also have supported me in different ways. And also the people have kept me going. I can say my clients, the moment I make something good for my client, they give me that encouragement that, Dion, you've really done a good work and I'll definitely come back for it. And also, Ndinda has been my pillar and my pushing button each and every day. She keeps on motivating me and telling me to do it and just do the best by helping me out with different things and where I go wrong in this industry. And also, a say that keeps me going most of the time that is related to all these people is always do to others what you'd love them to do to you. In short, as a crochet designer, I prefer doing something nice to my client, and that also let them do something nice to me. You realize that when I do something good to my clients, they become returning clients each and every time. I have so many returning clients considering the good thing that I keep on doing. And with that, I think I've come so far to where I am right now, and it has really brought me to the level that I am as a crochet artist.
Her hands may still weave, style, and design, but her impact will stretch far beyond the studio, leaving a legacy for the next generation.
For the next 5 years to come, I see myself owning a very big brand of yarn and accessories. That is one thing that I hope to open a very big store. Maybe let's call it like Dion's Collection or Dion Yarn Store, where I'll be selling different types of yarn, imported yarn, even the local yarns. And with that, I could help the crochet community so much. And also, I'd love to open a crochet foundation and community that supports the children's home and foster homes around our country. And with that type of organization, we are able to make projects and very small, tiny projects like muffins and scarf that we can donate to the orphanages and even to the street children and families.
From yarn to runway, Celine Daisy brings a vision to life. Today, her designs take center stage.
My parting shot is one word for the wise is enough. And one thing I'd like to tell us is do what is best for you. You cannot do as Dion does it, but you have something unique on your own that you can actually do. So maybe you are good in crocheting, you are good in knitting, and in that industry there's so many levels to that. There are those who are good in making bags, there are those who are good in making jewelries, amagurumis, those tiny dolls, and you can choose the one that really works best for you, and through that you can really make a good outcome for it. And also, for those who are beginning, make YouTube and research engines your best friends. Through that, you get to learn a lot and know more about crocheting and how to crochet. So basically, that is it for today, guys. And for those who want to reach out to me, kindly go to IG Crochet by Dion. It's crochet with a T, not the normal crochet word. Then on TikTok also Crochet by Dion. Then I also have a YouTube channel, Dion's Collection or Crochet by Dion.